But speaking of meetings, we were talking earlier today, we were debriefing ACOS.
Yeah.
You go to ASCRS, you go to AAO, Caribbean Eye, a million meetings, let's say, that you go to. We just came back and I feel like we were talking about, what was our favorite presentation? What did we hear that was really, really good? What do you feel like for medical students or residents, let's say, who are interested in speaking at the podium or maybe haven't done a lot of public speaking before? What are like the elements that make a good presentation, or let's say that make it engaging?
Sure. Yeah. You know what? I'll say I was definitely a late bloomer in that. I see, Arjan, when you do a talk, I can already see, I'll give you my talk that I've polished in my mind, I've worked on for a year or two, and I give it to you, and like in one session, you're already delivering it better than I could do. So you're great at that. And I think I definitely will say that it took some work for me to have the confidence to present what I was passionate about. And I think that was one of the things I found is I did much better speaking about a subject that I had true passion on. So maybe it was a surgical technique that I was interested in versus, let's say, the newest glaucoma medication, molecule. Am I really passionate about that? Nah, not, at least for me, I was not so much. I might struggle with a talk like that versus if I'm going to talk about a surgical technique that we're trying to, pioneer or innovate, that might be easier for me to speak about. So I think if docs find what they're truly interested in, it becomes that much easier to present on it. I think knowing your audience, knowing the style of meeting, for example, ACOS might be very much case oriented, where you really have a room of 100 experts in the field that have something to say potentially about your case. And so if you, steal the podium and don't share that opportunity, your talk's not going to resonate as much as sort of leaving some open-ended questions, letting the panel or the moderator chime in, or people from the audience to chime in. When you see that type of audience, you want to make sure you take advantage of it. Versus, let's say, if you're speaking at the, let's say, local community home, educating, retirees about cataract surgery, totally different audience. And so you have to come off more as the expert, and you are truly the expert in the room, and you want to, kind of maintain that podium presence. So I think understanding who you're talking to, what you're passionate about, what the setting is, and I think is important. I think other things around meetings, there are a lot of meetings. It seems like you could go to a different meeting literally every week of the year. And so understanding that there are different sort of cultures for the meetings, and understanding that if you're going to go to multiple meetings, try to mix it up with a different culture. So you have academy, which is is huge, and it has its own culture, and a lot of people go to that for certain reasons. And then you have, say, ASCRS, which tends to be a little bit more focused on cataract refractive, and sort of a must-go meeting if you're in that space. And then you have some of the smaller meetings, let's say the boutique meetings like Caribbean Eye, tends to be more of a meeting for higher volume practices that are truly often physician owned, where these docs are trying to get the information to run their practices to the next level. Either it's administrative reasons or surgical technique reasons. So that might be a great meeting to go to. Versus, let's say, ACO style meetings tend to be more sort of key opinion leaders trying to work with industry to share their thoughts and visions, and they're learning from each other, not necessarily teaching, let's say, the community doctors, more key opinion leaders teaching each other and industry to help kind of innovate products. So it has its own sort of culture or flavor. And so you may not necessarily always want to go to all ACOS or all Caribbean Eye or all ASCRS type meetings. You want to mix that up and understand that each meeting is going to have its own culture that you're going to learn from.